Hello everyone, FPL Raptor here and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Fix daily price change prediction video. We come to you every evening from the Fantasy Football Fix studios to bring you the latest with respect to potential price rises and potential price falls. If you're looking to build up that essential team value or you just don't want to be priced out of potential moves, look no further than this series and this YouTube channel. Just a friendly reminder that at the weekend there's a lot of transfer activity happening and therefore these things can change very quickly. So what I'm predicting at the time of recording this might be very different to this evening when you sit down to watch the video. So the best way to get around that is to check the price changes for yourself after watching this. And you can do that by heading to fantasyfootballfix.com or by downloading our free app and enabling push notifications. And just another friendly reminder that these are not an exact science. They are in fact a prediction. So as always, do take them with a slight pinch of salt. But with all that being said, let's get into today's video. So guys, as it's often the case on a Sunday, there's not actually as much transfer activity as there was yesterday, and as a result, there's not as many predicted price rises and price falls, and not necessarily as many of note as in the past as well. So what I thought I'd just show you is, because I don't think we've really shown you how to do this on this series, amongst other things, is just to show you how you can check who's changed in price the night before. So along the top, obviously, you've got your all players, you've got your squad, you can create your watch list, which we've shown you how to do in the past as well, but you've also got recent price changes. So if you're looking to find out who changed in price the last night, you can see the date. Obviously, it's last night, but it's also today. So the 26th is the price changes that happened like last night, and you can see them all listed here. So there was quite a few price falls. With respect to price rises, there were a few notable ones as well. You have João Cancelo went up 0.1 million. You've got Doucouré went up 0.1 million, and Lukaku went up 0.1 million, and it went on to the second page as well. Ismaila Sarr obviously went up not last night, the night before that. So you can see Traore was the final one. That's not obviously Adama Traore, that's Bertrand. So you can see here, if you need to look who's changed in price before and you don't have to go onto the main site and try and work it out, you do have a list here. But Cancelo, Doucouré and Lukaku were the top three main ones that rose in price. You can obviously see Digne is one of the main ones that actually did drop in price last night. But that's very useful, I think, when you're looking at who changed in price last night. With respect to tonight, I have created a watch list as per usual. Just a quick reminder for those of you that haven't watched past videos, you can create a watch list on fantasyfootballfix.com by just starring players and then they pop up in your watch list. So these are the notable ones for me this evening that look like they're going to change in price, and a few of the really informed players that I know a lot of us will be looking at either to bring in using our free transfers or on our wild cards. Ismaila Sarr looks like he's going to get his third price rise of the season, up to 6.3 million. He's at 119% progress at the time of recording. And remember, a player needs to be more than 100% to be predicted to rise in price. And he's rising at 3% per hour. So by the time this evening swings around, he'll probably be 130, 140%. So I can say with relative confidence that it does look like Ismaila Sarr is going to rise in price tonight. The other player that looks like, again, will be getting his third price rise of the season is Alan Saint-Maximin, who looks like he's going to go up to 6.8 million tonight. He's slightly less progress than Sarr. He's at 104.3% progress, but he is rising at 1.1% per hour. So he's still rising at a relative rate. So I do think both Sarr and Saint-Maximin will go up in price. The third player that is already above 100% progress is Alonso, who's at 102% at the time of recording, but he is rising even quicker than Alan Saint-Maximin at 2.4% per hour. Three other players that look like they're going to rise in price tonight are Andros Townsend after his haul in yesterday's game. Said Benrahma, despite blanking, looks like he might rise tonight. And Antonio Rudiger is another one. All three of these players I would not be confident though. I think they're right on the boundary. If the transfer activity slows down this evening, I could see Townsend, Benrahma and Rudiger all surviving a price rise this evening. But I do think it's very close. So you'd have to check just before you made the transfer this evening. Remember, price changes happen at 2:30 a.m. British summertime. So before you make your transfer, make them as late as possible. Just double check, because I think all three of these players might not potentially rise in price tonight. The other one I've just noted is Antonio, who is now unlocked. Remember, he was locked in price last week. So for those of you that don't know, when a player goes from being red flagged to available, as obviously Antonio did because he was suspended and then available, when they go from red flagged to available, they're locked in price for that game week. So all of last game week, Antonio was locked. So this is just to tell you Antonio is now unlocked and therefore he can rise or fall in price. He's actually being brought in by quite a lot of managers again after scoring another goal against Leeds. So he's at 32.3% and he's rising at 2.6%. So I think Antonio should be safe for tonight, but at that current rate, he does look like he might rise in price tomorrow. And then there's really, for me, only two notable price falls this evening. That is Mason Mount is at 101.5% and he's falling at 0.5. So again, he's not falling very quickly. So Mount might survive the price fall tonight, but because he's already below minus 100%, I do think it's probably fairly highly likely he falls in price. And the other one, as we spoken about yesterday in yesterday's video, is Ferran Torres. He's currently at minus 102.6%, and he's falling at minus 1.8% per hour. So these are two noticeable mid-price midfielders that look like they're falling in price. I do actually like the fact that they're falling in price as well, because both Mason Mount, probably from Game Week 7, and Ferran Torres from Game Week 8 are on my watch list because of Chelsea and Manchester City's fixture swings, which we've spoken about yesterday. So I'm very happy for those to go down in price, because I'm looking to bring both of them potentially in from Game Week 8 onwards. But those are the notable price changes for this evening. Now let's get into a bit of a deep dive into some statistics for some of these players moving forward. So guys, for this final section, what I've done is I've used the fixed comparison matrix to just compare 5 of the key players predicted to go up in price tonight in their underlying statistics. So as you can see, we've got Sarr, Benrahma, Townsend, Saint-Maximin, and Alonso. And as I've said before, the reason I like this is it's a really nice way to compare very quickly basically everything that you would need over the coming game weeks for certain players. And it's quite colourful, and it's a nice graphic to look at as well. So as you can see on the actual cards of the player, we have projected points over the next 5 game weeks. We've got their price change statistic for this evening, and we've also got how many games they've played, how many minutes they've played, and their price. And then after that, you can select specific statistics you want to look at. So the first thing to note for these 5 players, you can see they're all predicted to go up in price tonight as per before. The other thing to note is that Alonso has the highest projected points over the next 5 game weeks by some distance. So if you're prioritizing a transfer out of these 5 players over the coming 5 game weeks, the Fantasy Football Fix algorithm predicts Alonso to be the highest scoring player by some distance, closely followed by Sarr. Well, not closely followed, in fact, 6 points less is Sarr. And then you can see Benrahma, Townsend, and Saint-Maximin are all around 17, 16 points. The reason for that is that their fixtures aren't great. They're sort of a mixed bag, whereas Watford's are pretty decent over the next few, and obviously Chelsea's are fantastic. Apart from that, projected points, what I've done is I've just selected 3 statistics that I love looking at. I think they're very, very useful. So as you can see, I've sorted it by show average per game rather than show totals. And what I've got is in the first one is expected FPL points. So expected FPL points combines a number of metrics into one and says how many points does the algorithm expect that player should have scored per game, FPL points wise. So as you can see, they're actually all performing very, very, very well. But just about leading the way is Benrahma after those magical first few weeks. But you can see Alonso on 5.6, Sarr also on 5.6, Saint-Maximin on 5.1. It's actually Townsend who's a little bit lower on 4.6, but he is only 5.4 million, obviously, at the time of recording this. So he is the cheapest player here. So it might be value per million wise, might actually be the best player there. After that, you can see touches in the opponent's box. I like this because if my players get into the opponent's box, I think they're getting involved in the action. They're more likely to get those shots off, more likely to get assists, goals. I want them as close to the opponent's goal as possible. And you can see Ismaila Sarr is the best for that. Again, by a relative distance, apart from Saint-Maximin, 6 touches in the opponent's box per 90 is absolutely brilliant. That's why he's getting the goals. That's why he's getting the attacking returns, because he's in the position to do so. Saint-Maximin at 5.5 is also highly impressive. I'd say anything better than about 4 or 5 touches in the box per 90 is very, very good. The other 3 players have actually been pretty poor. I would say 2.5 touch in the box per 90 is actually very good. We have to realise that the statistics we're looking at for Alonso, he is a fullback. He's, I suppose, a wing-back, but he's still getting a lot of touch in the box for a wing-back. 2.5 is very impressive. The other 2 I'm really, really not impressed at. 2.7 touch in the box per 90 for Benrahma isn't very impressive. He tends to sit on the edge of the box, and he likes to take long shots, as we saw against the likes of Manchester United when he scored that goal. But 1.3 touches in the box per 90 for Townsend is not good. And that suggests that his points is probably not sustainable unless he starts to get in the box a lot more. I suppose he can take those shots outside the box, as he has done so well already, and he can get assists, but really you want them in the box a little bit more per often. And the other one I've got here is expected FPL involvements. So this is obviously FPL assists and goals. And you can see they're all very, very consistent, all very, very close together. Alonso's obviously the lowest, but he also has the clean sheets to add to that. So attacking returns is one thing, but obviously the clean sheets are great as well. 0.6 is the winner for Alan Saint-Maximin, and that's the reason for that is he's got creative threat, but he's also got goal threat as well. And the other 3 are all very close. And I just wanted to show you then that all 5 are great options. For me, Townsend's probably the worst option here, especially if you consider that Everton have Manchester United next week. But at 5.4 million, you really can't complain at that sort of cheap price. I personally would be prioritising Alonso out of these 5 over the coming weeks. And after that, maybe Townsend just because of the cheap price. But Alonso should definitely be your priority. I just wanted to show that you can also add as many statistics as you want. And there are so many to choose from. So if you want to do this afterwards, head to the fixed comparison matrix and you can make the comparisons that you want for the players that you want to compare. So guys, there you have it. Those are the predicted price rises and price falls for this evening. Again, just a friendly reminder that the stuff changes very, very quickly over the weekend. So if you are looking to make transfers this evening off the back of this, make sure to just go over to Fantasy Football Fix yourself and do what I've done today and just check the progress per hour, check the time that they're predicted to change. Because again, it might have changed from the time I'm recording this to later this evening. And another reminder that this is indeed a prediction and not an exact science, so just take it with a pinch of salt. If you are enjoying the content on this channel and you're enjoying the daily videos and the other series we're running, please do support the channel by liking, commenting, subscribing and enabling notifications so that you know when these videos go live every single evening. But until next time guys, thank you very much.